Alright, it's your boy iDef, and I'm back with another review for you guys, and this time we got the Marvel Legends Werewolf by Night Man-Thing. I had actually just recently watched Werewolf by Night when I got this. I was at GameStop, and it was between him and this G.I. Joe classified. It was like a scuba dive, which was pretty cool, but I asked my girlfriend, she said I should, she was partial to this dude, and I kind of was too. I don't know, he looks dope. His face, obviously, if you're just looking at him, his face does look better than the rest of him. But regardless, I think a customizer could very easily make this figure look a lot better with a wash and stuff. But he does look cool in package. You got the sick image on the back. If you haven't watched Werewolf by Night, it is in black and white. But it's got this little image on the back of him too, which is kind of cool. They didn't technically use the same image. That's new. No bio about him, which I think they're just kind of doing away with bios, which I'm not a big fan of, but you know, it is what it is. If you're buying a character, you probably know about him or know something about him. But let's go ahead and run him through the old IDIF system. Is the figure in good shape? Does the figure function as intended? Everything that's included with the figure, plus scaling, and then just my final thoughts. Usually a little pose at the end when I'm talking about it too, unless I forget. Alright, and here he is out of package, and you know, he looks pretty good. I would say he actually almost looks better out of package, but again, I think the rest of his body really just needs some sort of wash. That's really, I think, what he needs to just set him off. I'm sure there's more stuff that could be done, but I don't do painting and stuff, so I don't know. But let's go ahead and just, well, actually, I guess, let me see here. Is the figure in good shape? There's only one thing I'm going to say seems not in good shape, because everything else, like the paint, seems fine. This could be a paint issue, but I'm really not sure. It doesn't look like it to me. Like, it looks like it's supposed to be like that, because these up here kind of have similar streaks, so I don't think that's an issue. His ankles are really, really loose. I mean, they have a little bit of detent, but they are, like, if you just set up, I mean, he, hold on, let me turn that sideways for you guys. They're loose, but you know what? I mean, they're holding them up. But yeah, that's really the only big problem I have with this figure as far as him not being in good shape. But does he function as intended? He gets better, I mean, technically, he gets better look up than some figures, but he is on a ball peg, so do with that what you will. That's just what they seem to do with all MCU figures, I think. But he can look around good. You can get some tilt on it, you know, kind of a confused look, but he really can't look down, so that's just, it is what it is. You would think that these would get in the way, but he gets a T-pose. Let's see. Yeah, he gets a T-pose. I would be careful with these. They might get some paint issue or something, but it's not like a butterfly, and maybe it's not supposed to necessarily do it, but there's almost a little bit of movement in there, and I think that's to allow you to get his shoulders up, so that's cool. He does have bicep swivel, but it is limited, but I really don't think you need to go much further. I think they kind of had that, they were thinking about it when they made it, I think, is what was going on. It's a little crunchy. He gets about a 45-degree bend, honestly. Maybe a little less, actually. Not terrible, but not good either. And then, for these hands that are on, he does have another set of hands. They don't go too far out. They go pretty far in. Nothing crazy. And obviously the swivel. So, this is him just standing straight up. He gets not... He doesn't go back very much at all. However, he does get a pretty good crunch for being a character this big. Like, you can have him looking down at someone small or something like that. Okay. So, not a terrible kick, especially for a character this big. This piece right here, oh, it's a little bit detent in there. This is very, very hard. It's not soft at all. In fact, the only parts of it that are kind of soft are the bottom, but this piece is really, really hard. So that is going to kind of mess up your articulation a little bit. But it can't go back. Not abnormal for Marvel Legends, but just show you again. That's about the kick you're getting. Which which again, not that bad, especially for a big character, but this thing, I feel like, is kind of what, it makes it look goofy. He has to go outward, kind of, but whatever. Pretty decent split, I mean, and then he does have bicep swivel, and because of all the sculpting in there, you can kind of tell exactly where it's supposed to go back. And then, let's see these knees, a little bit crunchy. Deep bend, that's cool. Then, as I mentioned, these are kind of loose, but they got a decent amount of bend on them. And then they have a good swivel too. The swivel has a nice detent in it. These ankles just needed a little bit more, honestly. But yeah, that's about it for him, honestly. There's not really much else articulation to him. But for everything that's included, pretty bare bones. If you know anything about Swamp Thing, or you know that you've seen the show, there's not much else they could have added, but he does have these nice big open hands, which I don't really want to spoil the show, but these are really good for what he does in the show for his main attack. That's all I'm going to say, but they, you know, you can use them as action hands, like open action hands, whatever, but they're good for it. They're good for it. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get some scaling on him. So for some MCU counterparts, here's Wong. Here's him with Doctor Strange. Here he is with Deadpool. Here he is with Mark 80-something Iron Man. I can't remember. Here he is with She-Hulk. I think this is a pretty nice scaling so far. Obviously we haven't seen him on screen with any of these characters, but I think the scaling is pretty good. And here he is with Scar. I actually thought Man-Thing might be a little bit taller, but they're almost exactly the same height. I don't think they're necessarily using the same mold by any means, but I almost wonder if... No, they're completely different, honestly. Now, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't know if I necessarily feel this figure was worth it. I don't regret getting him necessarily, but if anyone else is having these issues with ankles, like it's a common thing, that's a huge problem for a figure this big. I don't even know if I want to put him on my figure shelf because I feel like he will eventually fall over. And if those ankles give out, like if he falls forward quickly, he is going to fall over, and then it's going to domino effect your other figures. I will say the head looks really cool. I like that they added that little flower up there, but just this front face part just looks so great. Like the eyes, they look good. The rest of them is kind of mid, in my opinion. There are parts of him that have a little more paint than others, but if you really like Man-Thing, I don't think you'll be disappointed, but honestly, for what he is, what he comes with, and everything overall, I think they can make him a little bit cheaper, but that's just my opinion. But I don't think I have much else to say about him. I think for a figure this size, he has pretty good articulation. Not that it couldn't be better, but overall, I can't say I recommend him, but he is pretty cool. He's alright. He'll definitely look cool on the shelf, and you can probably get some pretty cool poses out of him, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this guys helps to inform you whether or not you want to get this figure or not. But yeah, I think that'll be it.